Okay. Take one. Trust me, it only takes one. Alright. Welcome everyone. Welcome back to The Final Cut. I'm your host DJ Hattrick, and with me I've got the young actress Ashley Jackson, who's taking part, who is one of the leading cast members in the upcoming theater production of Once on This Island.
Yes.
Ashley, say hello to the audience.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Ashley, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your history with the theater arts?
Theater arts in general or theater arts here?
Just in general.
Okay. Well, I started very young. I started, of course, in the church, singing in the choir, you know, and then I thought, let me try this at school. So I started singing in the school choirs when I was very young. I tried tap dancing, I quit that. Tried ballet and I quit that. Then I found hip hop and I fell in love with that. I started taking acting very seriously in high school. I started as General Cartwright in Guys and Dolls at my high school. Soon enough, I started acting. Actually, I acted as T Moon at the Lakewood Playhouse back in Lakewood, Washington, where I'm from. And that was my big role, and now I am Mama Yearly in this production of Once on This Island.
All right, Ashley, tell us a little about, tell the audience a little bit about your role in this upcoming production.
Well, of course, I just said I play Mama Yearly, and I am T Moon's mother. I love my family very, very deeply. I think family and love for the family is the number one thing that's evident in my life, so that shows throughout the production.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the production itself? I mean, what more in general, what is it about?
Once on This Island is about a girl who falls in love with a very rich and handsome man. He is of lighter skin, so it does deal with some tension based on skin color, and also deals with tension between classes. So you have this young peasant girl who just falls in love with this young, handsome man. And it shows the trials and tribulations that she goes through. And you have to see it, because I cannot tell you the whole ending. But it's a beautiful production. It's based on a Caribbean tale called My Love, My Love. And it is kind of a darker version of The Little Mermaid. It's okay.
No. But is this another, just based upon all the information I've gathered so far, is this another student-directed production, or is it just more of one of our faculty staff members here on campus?
It is student-directed. It's directed by Joyde Carroll, and she is a wonderful director, also a great choreographer. You will see a lot of great choreography, singing, and acting in this production.
I get a whole mix of it now in this one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern was more of a script.
It's a script reading.
Script reading thing, and then we had references to Cellar Dolly, which was more of just an individual. What do I want to say?
Like monologue, expression.
Monologue, expression. I mean, I guess it was just more so on the fact that it was student directed.
Yes, it was.
And I mean, I take it now. Assuming that Allison Andrews is the assistant musical director.
Yes, she is.
Now, what role is she playing in all this, considering she is, like, I guess, a director of some sort?
Allison Andrews, great girl to work with. What she does is she helps bridge the gap between the script, which has the dialogue, and she helps us bridge the gap between the dialogue and the musical numbers. There are some people in the cast, and I will be the first to say that I am not the best sight reader. I am not the best reader of music, so she definitely helps with learning how to interpret the text, how to sing properly, and for also for us to be able to understand the musical notation.
Man, talk about introducing a lot of elements into this production.
Yes.
What would you say, I mean, I guess in terms of classes here at Catawba, what classes like specifically has helped you prepare for something like this? I mean, considering there's choreography, there's dancing, there's acting, so I mean, there's a little bit of everything that you would expect to see from like Broadway to a simple on-stage production. So I mean,
definitely, I would say if anybody who's interested in joining these type of productions, try your best to understand how to read music on a very basic level, because that will help you be a step ahead of everyone else. Also, I don't necessarily think a particular class would help, although beginning acting does help you understand the basics of how to have stage presence and what have you. Just being fearless and being willing to learn will help you with the process. That's what helped me, and getting over my fear of not knowing how to read music very well. Yes, so just being fearless and having an open heart and open mind. Those are very basic fundamentals to have if you want to be successful, especially with this type of production.
Now, would you say like the required confidence level for a production like this is greater than anything that, like any other, like say, you know, Rosencrantz or references? Would you say that it requires more or less?
I would say neither. I believe that having the confidence level, it does matter. But with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, it's just a different twist on it. With Once on This Island, this is a musical, so you have to be daring to sing, daring to fail in regards to singing. With Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, there was a lot more other elements to consider. Of course, you do have the stage reading, but you also have to pay attention to the pictures that you want to portray to the audience. So yes, and it also goes the same for references to Salvador Dali, that although it was it's not a musical, of course, but what they all three have in common is that you want to create that picture for the audience to understand the story. So going back to confidence, having confidence no matter if it's a musical or if it's a straight play or if it's more image-based, what have you, you just have to be daring to do it.
Man. Well, sticking with confidence, I mean, the reason why I asked was because, I mean, again, you got acting, you got music, it's like I'm gonna say, there's singing, dancing, and there's so much to coordinate.
Yes.
I mean, I would just assume that you would need kind of that extra, like almost like a whole different level of confidence because of all the things you have to coordinate and do at, you know, not just at a rehearsal, but also when you put the production into play. It's just, you know, I would just, I mean, again, we all know what assuming does, so, I mean, I'm sure I do not need to remind my audience here, but, again, I'm taking that risk in assuming that there's just a higher level of confidence required, almost. So, let's see. What would you say was the most challenging aspect of, like, say, putting this production together?
Okay. This is gonna sound really, really sad, but being able to sing and dance at the same time, because you will be very surprised at how quickly you will run out of breath trying to do a pirouette and trying to do a jump and a leap and being on a high note too. Yes, sometimes I feel sorry for Tanya because she has some of the highest notes in the production, but the amount of work that she has to do with the singing and the dancing, yes, you have to have a lot of stamina for the show. Because there were many nights where I would be like, so yes, I would say that.
Damn.
That's exactly how I feel. That's okay.
I don't care. It's a podcast. I like it. What would you say? What was the approach taken? Because of its musical elements, what approach would you say that the directors probably took that would differ from Rosencrantz, from their improvisations and time and cues, and like and kind of like the whole transformation of surrealism I mean, I guess having the actors playing like roles of animals. What would you say would you say the approach is different because there's the musical element, or would you say, I mean, it really just depends on the directors?
I would say with this experience, especially since I've done the production before, with this particular process it was a little bit different, because what you have to understand is that basically this whole entire musical, there's probably only 2 pages that have actual speaking dialogue, and then the rest is just music. So it's a very different approach. So what we had to do is break down and learn the music in its entirety first, because if you don't learn the music, you cannot tell the story. And on top of that, but we didn't want to take the whole thing as a big whole, because that would just be overwhelming. So we broke it down song by song. And with this particular process, since it has historical elements to it, with the Haitian historical elements to it, we did study a little bit about Haitian culture and about the different gods that, yes, there are gods, the different gods that exist within their world, within the Haitian world. And we also made a little bit discoveries on that will apply to our characters. So that's why it's very important, you guys, whoever wants to become an actor, you have to do your homework. Because it does take a lot of involvement in breaking down the text. Okay, what does this line mean? Why am I singing it this way? It all adds up to the bigger picture.
Well, that's what I respect about the theater arts, because I mean, it's all that culture. Because I mean, you can't. I mean, I would assume that you can't. Again, assuming.
Yeah.
That you can't just go in and read the script or even read the music and just just say, okay, this is how they're going to sing it. This is what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is. I mean, you can't particularly know the style of I guess of that particular culture unless you do your research and all that.
Right.
So I mean, again, that's what I love about the theater arts. It's just all the culture that you have to bring to each performance. At least just something such as this.
Oh, definitely, because we don't want to disrespect anybody. We don't want to make a caricature of that particular culture. We want to make it as authentic and as real as possible.
Let's see. Aside from all the coordinating, the singing, and the dancing,
and all that.
What would you say was another challenge in in this production?
Okay. Well, I'll speak from a personal experience. I had to forget everything that I did in the past, because if you bring things that, especially if you've done it, we did it this way before, and now this is different. It's okay. It's theater. So learning to unlearn old habits and letting go of the past and being able to embrace this new experience, especially from a different character, that was a blessing, actually. I wouldn't necessarily call it a challenge. I would call it a blessing, because with art, you have a chance to do it again and make new discoveries and throw away something that didn't work before. And that's why I love this process.
Man, it makes art sound so disposable. So expendable.
But at the same time, that's the beauty of it. It's all about creativity and making something that you saw before into something completely brand new.
What was your experience like working with a student director?
Oh, it was so much fun. I love it because you get, especially working with Joyde, you get to see how she thinks in her process. And throwing a little plug in there, I'm currently in directing too. So the things that I'm learning in directing too, and I see what she's doing to further the process along, it's inspiring to me. So to see how passionate she is about her work and about each and every little step, every note taken, it's inspiring to me to become a better director and a better actor.
Yeah. Even with something like this, I mean, the effort and the passion needs to be there. Otherwise, it's so empty, and there's no. I don't want to go there's no soul, because it sounds so cliche, but I mean, it's just it has no substance. It's so it has no, I guess, flavor. It's
Exactly.
so dull. I mean, it's almost like seeing the world just as dull and gray as you could possibly see it. But with that passion, you can see all the bright colors and.
Definitely. It's like if you go to a class that you don't like, you're gonna sit there like, oh, why am I here? I'm bored, blah blah. But when you go to a class that you are so passionate about, especially if it's a part of the career that you want to be there. And that's how I feel at every rehearsal. I want to be there because I want to add on to the process. I want to be able to create something new with her. She made it such a collaborative process, and so I enjoy it.
Good. Would you say that like student director's approach to directing is any different from that of, say, the faculty that we have here, like putting on a production or directing it?
That's an interesting question because even with every faculty member, they have a different process of.
Well, and I'm sure that
Yes.
I mean, like you said, Joyde kind of inspires you.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm just wondering, do you see any particular style that she's picked up from maybe any faculty member in the process, or would you say it's?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure there's originality. I mean,
Definitely.
there's no doubt. But I'm just saying, would you say would you say it's like completely unique, completely copied, or would you say it's a mix of both?
I would definitely say it's a mix of both. I see a little bit of Missy Barnes in Joyde because they both have quirky personalities and they're both very, very sweet. At the same time, they're about their business. So they see what they want and they encourage you and they will pull the best out of you. And so I do see a little bit of inspiration from Missy Barnes vicariously through Joyde, if that makes sense.
Absorption.
Yes.
Absorbing.
Because if we want to become the best that we can be, you got to learn from the best. And I have no shame. I think Missy Barnes is one of the best faculty members in the theater department that we have. So, yes.
I'm going to say, and I completely agree with it because, folks, I don't care what you say about Howard Stern. This guy has kind of been, he's not so much of a role, but he's kind of what I've always liked about the radio. I mean, at least his style. It was always about, always pushing those boundaries and always wanting to do something greater the next time.
Exactly.
So, I've seen the show, I've seen his live. Yes, some of his shows are kind of
crazy.
Yeah, they're crazy. I would love to have a crazy show but I mean, like Joyde and having that, I guess, finding someone and kind of absorbing their techniques and putting their own twist to it. I mean, I feel like I want to do the same, or at least that's what inspired me to do such a program like this.
Exactly.
Let's see, what else is there? Well, why don't you take us through a typical rehearsal? Like, like what goes on. Like, I mean, I'm not saying like every spill, every detail. Like this guy.
Well, this guy over here.
He followed her.
There.
She nearly ripped his eyes out. No, I mean, it's just more because, just for like prospective theater art students, it's just more of getting to know what to expect from going through a typical rehearsal, especially for a musical.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you this. Be on time. Be on time equals being there early. Our call time is at 6:50. I get there at 6:40 because I do not like being late. But when we start rehearsals at 7:00. What we usually do is we have some great music bumping because we get ready to warm up. So we do our stretches and we're just trying to fill in the groove of the music. And on top of that, we go over a little bit of choreography that we learned before. And then we also go through vocal warm-ups. So it's just a very, very lighthearted, it's a lighthearted experience. And then what's really important that we do is that we do ensemble building. And so one of the exercises that we've done, actually we just did last night, is that we would say the alphabet. One person will say one letter of the alphabet, and the thing about it is you have to have your eyes closed. So you're kind of feeling, it sounds like very new agey, but you feel the energy in the room, and each person will say the letter of the alphabet. But now, two people can't say it at the same time. But we have accomplished it too. So it sounds like it would be really complicated, but if you have a solid cast and a solid foundation, you get through the alphabet just like that.
Well, just to sit there with your eyes closed and be like, A, B, it's like, and then just to be able to say it and have it so it's like, I don't know, I would say this, just, you know, almost like we say with Rosencrantz and their cues, just, you know, to have it so fluid and actually work your way up to actually have it so no one says it at the same time and all that. It's just something. That's all I can say. It's just, it's like, I can imagine it's like, okay, room full, even with a room full of my friends, okay, we got 26 of them. There is no, I swear, I don't know if there's one. I got half of them doing this, and like trying to say, I was like, no, Z does not start after A. No!
Stop it! Why not? I want to say it right there.
It's like, fine, let's create our own alphabet.
And that would be wrong.
Wrong. Fail. Back to the drawing board. No, but I mean, how important is teamwork, especially, I mean, I know it, teamwork plays a crucial role in everything that anyone really does, but how does it play, I mean, what kind of role does it play when it comes to, you know, coordinating music with the choreography and then just, like you said, a few lines of acting, like script reading, so.
Teamwork is so very important. If you don't have that teamwork there, you don't have that trust there within your cast, so that creates tension. So it's so important that let's say if I forget a line or if I am off on a note, I'm so thankful that I feel comfortable going to a cast member and saying, oh, you know what, I think I got that note wrong. What was it again? And so we have that camaraderie. So it feels like a little family, because if you don't have somebody, if you even have one person who's just not feeling the group, who's just not at rehearsal, who's just not really in sync with the rest of the group, that can throw the whole production off. It's just based on, it could be like that one apple that spoils the whole bunch. It's the same thing with the cast.
I'm going to say, well, talking the whole family feeling, I'm going to say, it's been, I mean, out of all the interviews I had, this theme is always consistent with everyone I interview. It's like, it's always a family. It's like, this is going to be like the first time I've ever seen such consistency with this. It's like, woohoo! Yes! I mean, especially when it comes to family and, you know, treating it like it's a second family, like your family away from your immediate family, I guess, if you want to put it in that sense. But I mean, it's just amazing that everyone from different productions can say the same thing. It's just, I mean, come on. I mean, is that a theater department or what?
And that's powerful.
I know. I mean, to be consistent like that and stick to it, especially with, different roles and, man, I mean, Cindy Burke, Greg Stoughton, Katie Johnson, man, she's like, God, I was like, okay, write down, family, circle. Yeah, I got it. See, this is going to be a new question. How important is family to this? How would you describe family within the theater department? Better yet, how would you describe the family in the theater department?
We can be crazy at times, you know, like when you have a family reunion and you have those really crazy moments or whatever, but
yeah, sure can.
At the end of the day, you have one common goal, and that's to create art. And I believe that passion to create art is what keeps our family together.
Throw in a little nuts, and there you go.
That's
okay,
right.
do I want to say a little or like a bunch? Hey, if I join, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a nut, so I'll just...
We'll accept you. We don't discriminate.
No, sorry, you're too old. Like, okay.
All right. No.
It's like, no, you're a computer. You're a business major. You're an IS major. What do you know about art? Oh man, you had a soft spot there.
Oh no.
No, but I mean, it was just like the other day. Working with a bunch of accounting students. I mean, all of them accounting majors. I'm the only IS major.
Oh no.
And it's just like, yeah, we had a small little discussion about databases. Like, one of them was just like, man, it was boring. I thought it was boring going. It's just like one of those ones like, thanks, that's just what I'm doing. It was like, I know, it's like, this is what I do. I mean, and you're seeing it tell me. It's like, that's a low blow.
Yeah.
Where's my family when I need it? Oh yeah, they're gone.
Over there.
Yeah, crap. Tell me about your experience with the theater department since your time being here with Catawba.
Gosh.
You can be brave, it can be long. We can throw a biography onto this. It's all good.
You know, it's been definitely a growing experience because I'm originally from Tacoma, Washington, so dealing with the culture shock of North Carolina. I felt a lot more comfortable at Catawba being with the theater department because I was already different. And so with the theater department doesn't discriminate. And based on, you know, oh, you're from the north, what do you know? So,
I'm from the north too, so
right, so you understand how I feel.
Yes.
It was just
Yes.
it's so different. And not saying it's bad, it's just different. And so being able to connect with the theater department was so very important. So very important because I don't know what I would have done if I couldn't connect with some type of group.
Well, at least it's a good thing you found her because I've still yet to find that group. It's like,
oh man.
no, I honestly don't find a problem. Okay, I'll be lying, and I'll be the first to admit this. Yes, I'd be lying if I said I didn't care, but I mean, you know, all I got is this microphone and this laptop, so.
Oh man.
You guys are the best friends in the world right now.
But it's always good to find at least that one person you connect with on the campus.
I'm gonna say, connecting for me has always been, it's not an issue, it's just more the fact is, I think for me it's just more the age of it, because I mean, I'm older than most typical students, and...
Hold on, I am too.
But I'm still older, and I'm in a field where it's so technical and professional that it's just like, I mean, we can be creative, but I mean, it's like fun equals work. Work equals fun. Yeah.
How about that?
Come on, theater department, theater spirits, help me think of a question. I mean, let me say, how has have you worked a lot with one-on-one with faculty, or the directors anyways, like throughout your experience here?
Well, no, it's okay. Well, right now I'm working closely with Beth because she's helping me with the whole directing process because I am going to be a director for the One Act Festival. And so learning from her has been very, very inspirational and helpful because directing is fairly new to me. And so seeing her process, and I was watching her, of course, throughout her process with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. I was props master for that show too. And so being able to see how she collaborates with the other production staff has a little impression on me, so yes.
Yeah, it's like I know the feeling. Anyways, a shout out to Dr. Thompson, who's been a great supporter of what I'm doing. But I mean, I'm gonna say this. I appreciate everything she's done for me because just from her alone, the support that I've gotten to even further with myself with this project, or with this soon to be hopefully live. We're still hoping, we're still working on it, but I mean, it's just been so invaluable, invaluable. I don't know what I would have done without my professor, advisor, dean. It's like God, the list goes on. But I mean, I completely understand the feeling of that. It's
so important to have that one person that has your back, that understands what you want to do, especially to propel your career. It's so important to have that little safety net.
And the best thing is that it's like you don't even have to brag, especially if you're doing what you're doing is great. It's like, Professor T, how you doing? Guess what? It's like we get a casual conversation. All of a sudden, you get other person's like, hey, Dr. Thompson's said this about you. It's like, she said, oh, thank you. Thanks. Dr. Thompson, what have you been saying to this? I appreciate everything. Again, I appreciate everything she's done, but sometimes it kind of, I'm gonna say, the standards, the image it kind of puts on me, it's like way up here, and it's just like
the expectations are high.
Yes, and it's just like, and then it just puts on the stress because like I don't want to slip up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh crap, what do I do?
Yeah.
But let's see. I know I can think of more questions. I know I can. Can you think of any questions that I should
To ask you?
Well, to ask yourself.
To ask myself.
I'm not asking you to talk to yourself and then
That sounds
reply.
awkward. Well, if I were you, I would ask what plans you have outside of Catawba.
All right. Well, Ashley, what plans do you have outside of Catawba after you graduate?
Well, okay. Not many people know this, but I did work for Walt Disney World a couple summers ago. So I'm hoping to obtain a professional internship with Walt Disney World. And soon after that, I would love to move to Atlanta and to work with Tyler Perry. Fingers crossed. Just throwing it out there in the universe. And also, I do have a friend back at home. She's also an actor and a performer. And she has offered for me to direct her one-woman show. And so, basically, the options are limitless, the opportunities are priceless, and we will see what happens.
All right. Real quick question. How do you, directing a one-woman show, I mean, it almost seems, I don't even know what it seems. It just seems kind of, I mean, directing a one-woman show, you think that the person involved would be the director, would be the producer, and all, would be everything.
That's
so.
True. But sometimes it's good to have another set of eyes and another perspective, because just because something looks good to you may not necessarily look good to the audience. So you need that extra person to say, okay, well, maybe you should move stage left instead of stage right, because that doesn't make sense that you'll go by the door when you're trying to go to the bathroom. So, so it's very good to have another set of eyes.
All right. Well, Ashley, I would like to thank you for being on the program today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. It was so fun.
And everyone, you can catch Ashley Jackson and the rest of the cast in this great musical, from what we've definitely been told today, Once on This Island. It starts March 15th and goes through the 25th? 16th. March 16th.
It starts March 20th through the 23rd.
Ugh.
But it's okay. It's okay.
Oh man, my information is definitely outdated.
That's all right.
Anyways.
It does start March 20th through the 23rd. So just keep your eyes open.
All right. Ashley, thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right, and everyone, this is DJ Hedrick signing out, so salute.
Sayonara.